Before Elon Musk fought the government, Rockefeller did and won. In 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil was an illegal monopoly and ordered it broken into 34 separate companies. But here's the twist. Rockefeller became even richer. Welcome to MoneyTrace, where we follow the money behind history's biggest events. Most people think John D. Rockefeller lost everything when the government broke up Standard Oil. The textbooks call it a victory for the American people, a defeat for corporate greed. But when you follow the money trail, the real story is the exact opposite. By the time the Supreme Court ruled against him in 1911, Rockefeller owned about 25% of Standard Oil's stock. That stake was worth roughly $300 million. In today's money, that's over $9 billion. But here's what they never taught you in school. The breakup didn't destroy his fortune. It multiplied it. By 1913, just 2 years later, his net worth had tripled to $900 million, the equivalent of $27 billion today. How did losing a monopoly make him 3 times richer? Let's trace the money. The secret wasn't the oil itself. It was the ownership structure. When Standard Oil was broken into 34 separate companies, Rockefeller didn't lose his shares. He kept his 25% stake in every single one of those 34 new companies. Think about that. One monopoly became 34 independent corporations, and Rockefeller owned a quarter of all of them. Standard Oil of New Jersey, Standard Oil of New York, Standard Oil of California. Today, you know these companies as ExxonMobil, Chevron, and BP America. But here's where it gets interesting. The Supreme Court assumed that breaking up the monopoly would create competition. More companies meant lower prices, which would be better for consumers. But Wall Street saw something different. The moment the breakup was announced, investors rushed to buy shares in the new companies. Why? Because now they could invest in specific regions, specific operations, without buying into the entire monopoly. Suddenly, there were 34 different stocks to choose from instead of just one. And the stock market loves choice. Within months, the combined market value of all 34 companies exceeded the original value of Standard Oil. Some of the new companies saw their stock prices double, even triple, and Rockefeller owned 25% of every single surge. But that's not the full story. Rockefeller had been preparing for this moment for years. He knew the government was coming for him. Antitrust investigations had started as early as 1906. So what did he do? He started quietly restructuring his empire. He moved assets into holding companies, diversified into banking, real estate, and railroads. By the time the Supreme Court ruled in 1911, Standard Oil represented only part of his wealth. The rest was already protected, invisible to the government. And here's the genius move. After the breakup, those 34 new companies still needed to work together. They shared pipelines, refineries, distribution networks. Nothing actually changed operationally. The same executives ran the same operations. They just had different company names on their business cards. Rockefeller remained the largest shareholder in all of them. He didn't need to be CEO anymore. He just collected dividends from 34 different sources And because the companies were now competing, they could raise prices without being accused of monopoly behavior. The breakup removed regulatory scrutiny while preserving the financial structure. It was the perfect loophole. This same pattern is happening today. When regulatory discussions bring up forcing Facebook to separate Instagram and WhatsApp, Mark Zuckerberg still owns the parent company, Meta. When Google restructured into Alphabet, Larry Page and Sergey Brin maintained control through voting shares. When Amazon spins off Oz or other divisions, Jeff Bezos still benefits from the stock appreciation. The Rockefeller Formula is simple. When the government forces a breakup, make sure you own the pieces, because 34 small companies that you control are worth more than one big company that you don't. The money trail never lies. Rockefeller didn't fight the breakup. He engineered it to make himself richer. So the next time you hear about a tech giant being forced to break up, ask yourself one question: who really wins? The pattern is clear when you follow the money. The Rockefeller Formula turned a legal defeat into the greatest wealth multiplication in American history. History has the answers. We just showed you where the money leads. This is MoneyTrace. Subscribe to follow the money trail through history.